Hello ever. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt, even for a moment, that something out there might be watching back, not in a dramatic or fearful way, but in that quiet, curious sense that the universe is simply too vast, too full of mysteries, for us to be the only observers within it? Tonight, we are stepping into one of the most imaginative questions of all. What if a hidden civilization of tiny humans truly exists somewhere in the cosmos? Imagine drifting through the silent darkness of space. Stars stretch out in every direction, billions upon billions of them, each one possibly hosting worlds that have never been seen. And then, almost like a whisper in the dark, a small glimmer moves across the frame. It is subtle, almost unnoticeable, but just enough to spark a thought. What if that light came from a world completely unlike our own? Now picture a planet blanketed in soft green forests, glowing rivers, and clouds that break apart as the sun rises. At first glance, it looks peaceful, almost ordinary. But the closer you get, the more unusual it becomes. The trees are smaller, the plants are delicate, and the landscape feels designed for beings far tinier than anything we have ever encountered. This is the kind of world that invites imagination, one where a miniature civilization might be living quietly beneath leaves and roots, building their own shelters, forming communities, and crafting tools scaled to their size. A world where life developed differently, shaped by gravity, atmosphere, and the unique challenges of an environment we can barely imagine. So, welcome to today's journey. We are about to explore a question that blends curiosity, science, and wonder. What if tiny humans truly exist somewhere in the universe? Let us begin. As we move closer to this mysterious world, the first hints of life do not arrive with dramatic moments or grand discoveries. Instead, they appear in quiet details, small, delicate clues that suggest something intelligent is living here, even if it remains unseen for now. At the edge of a gentle stream, the soil holds a pattern that should not exist naturally. Perfectly shaped impressions line the ground, tiny footprints, arranged in a clear path, each one no larger than a fingernail. They sink slightly into the damp earth, as if made only moments before. It is the kind of detail that instantly sends a message: something walked here, and it walked with intention. As the scene moves deeper into the forest, the signs become even more intriguing. A faint movement crosses the frame, a small shadow darting behind a tree stump. It is fast, light, and purposeful. Not the movement of an insect, not the wind, but the motion of a creature aware of its surroundings. Nearby, small objects lie scattered on the ground, polished stones arranged in a pattern, tiny pieces of carved wood, and fibers woven together as if they belong to a small piece of equipment or decoration. None of these look accidental. Each one appears shaped, placed, or crafted by a living being with a sense of structure and creativity. The environment itself reacts differently. Leaves tremble as subtle footsteps pass beneath them. Branches shift gently, disturbed by something too light to break them. Every detail adds to the growing realization that this world supports a form of intelligence, gentle, careful, and extremely small. These early clues form the start of a bigger revelation. Life on this planet might operate at a scale we have never considered, and we are only beginning to understand its presence. As the journey continues, the clues shift from subtle signs to something far more remarkable. The forest begins to thin, opening into a small clearing where roots twist and curve across the ground like natural arches. At first, it looks like an ordinary patch of land, quiet, earthy, untouched. But as the camera lowers and moves closer, the details sharpen into something astonishing. Beneath the shelter of these roots lies a village, an entire community built at a scale so small it almost disappears into the landscape. Tiny structures stand neatly arranged along curved pathways carved into the soil. Some are made from carefully shaped pieces of wood, others from bits of crystal or stone polished to a gentle shine. Soft lights glow from within, illuminating warm, golden interiors the size of thimbles. And the life here is unmistakable. Small figures no taller than a hand move through the pathways, carrying materials, tending fires the size of candles, or speaking with one another in high melodic tones. The scene feels peaceful, purposeful, alive. This is not a random arrangement of objects, it is a functioning society, thoughtfully designed and actively maintained. The architecture reveals creativity far beyond improvisation. Tiny bridges cross miniature streams. Multi-level homes nestle among roots like organic skyscrapers scaled to their world. Pathways glow faintly, lit by shimmering stones that appear to store natural light. The ambience is gentle and warm, suggesting a community that has grown harmoniously with its surroundings. Everything they build blends seamlessly with nature, making their village both hidden and beautiful. This moment marks a turning point in the discovery, the realization that this world hosts not just life, but an entire civilization organized, expressive, and thriving quietly beneath the forest floor. As we move deeper into the village, the focus shifts from daily life to something far more surprising, the remarkable technology crafted at their miniature scale. At first glance, the tools and devices scattered across workstations seem like tiny decorations. But the closer the camera gets, the clearer their purpose becomes. Inside a workshop built beneath an intertwining arch of roots, several tiny individuals work with precision and rhythm. Glass-like spheres the size of droplets pulse with soft blue light. Thin rods made from metallic fibers hum gently as energy travels through them. Everything here is deliberate, functional, and engineered with an understanding of materials far beyond simple crafting. Despite their small size, these tools feel advanced, designed not out of necessity alone, but out of curiosity and ambition. They use tiny mechanisms that spin silently, harnessing motion to generate light and power. Some devices look like communication instruments, rings of crystal that vibrate softly as patterns dance across their surfaces. Others resemble compact engines, glowing faintly as they warm up. The way they work is just as impressive. They move with careful synchronization, handing off components, adjusting details, and inspecting results with focused attention. Their gestures show confidence, suggesting a culture that has long embraced technology as part of its identity. What makes it even more astonishing is how efficiently their scale works to their advantage. With smaller materials, less energy is required. With lighter tools, construction is quicker. Their world is a reminder that innovation does not depend on size, it depends on creativity, cooperation, and the drive to understand more. This glimpse into their microtechnology expands the mystery. If they can build this much in the shelter of a forest root, what larger ambitions might they be pursuing? As the camera follows the soft glow of their tools, a new structure appears on the edge of the village, something unlike anything we have seen so far. Resting on a carefully constructed platform is a miniature rocket, no taller than a human hand, yet crafted with remarkable precision. Its metallic surface reflects the firelight dancing around it, and small coils of energy shimmer faintly along its body. Tiny individuals gather around the launch site, each performing a specific task. Some adjust thin filaments that connect to the rocket's base. Others monitor glowing stones arranged like a control interface. Their movements are focused, steady, and filled with purpose. Whatever this launch represents, it is clearly significant. As final preparations are made, the mood in the village shifts, excitement mixed with reverence. The camera moves closer, capturing close-ups of intricate runes etched into the rocket's frame. They look like a combination of engineering notes and cultural symbols, suggesting that this mission carries both scientific and emotional weight. Then, with a soft hum, the energy coils intensify. A faint blue flame flickers beneath the rocket. The tiny beings take several steps back, raising their hands in a gesture that appears ceremonial yet practical. The camera widens just as the flame stabilizes, creating a radiant glow across the clearing. A moment of stillness fills the scene. And then launch. The rocket lifts with a sharp, bright surge of light. rising into the sky like a streak of fire. Despite its small size, the launch feels monumental. Leaves flutter from the force, and the tiny crowd watches with awe, their faces illuminated by the fading trail. This is more than a technological achievement. It is a message. Their curiosity extends far beyond their forest world. They are explorers just like us. As the miniature rocket disappears into the night sky, the scene transitions into the stillness of space. The darkness is vast, but the rocket's glowing trail continues forward like a single spark against a cosmic ocean. Despite its tiny scale, it moves with remarkable speed and stability, a testament to the ingenuity of the civilization that built it. The camera shifts to a vantage point just behind the rocket, following its ascent as it breaks through the planet's thin cloud layers. Wisps of vapor drift past, catching the soft light from the rocket's engine. When the craft finally clears the atmosphere, the world below curves gently, revealing swirling forests, rivers, and glowing patches that mark the tiny village far beneath the surface. Now in orbit, the rocket activates a small crystalline module attached to its side. The module opens like a flower, releasing several miniature probes no larger than seeds. They drift outward in a graceful arc, each one glowing with a subtle pulse as they begin collecting and transmitting data. The camera captures their movement in slow motion, emphasizing their delicacy and precision. Then the scene widens to reveal the sky as the probes see it, an arrangement of stars unlike anything familiar. Constellations stretch across the void in patterns that are elegant, geometric, and entirely alien. Some stars pulse with soft colors, others cluster densely like distant cities of light. The effect is breathtaking, quiet, majestic, and full of wonder. The probes rotate gently, scanning these constellations while their surfaces shimmer with lines of data. For a moment, the viewer feels the weight of discovery. This tiny civilization, hidden beneath forest roots, is reaching into a universe far bigger than their scale suggests. Their rocket does not just explore space, it redefines possibility. If beings this small can reach the stars, then perhaps size has never determined potential. Only curiosity does. While their probes explore the sky above, life on the forest floor continues, and here, the contrast in scale becomes even more striking. The camera drifts downward from the glowing night sky, returning to the surface of the planet, where two completely different worlds overlap without conflict. At ground level, enormous roots weave across the soil like ancient bridges. Dewdrops cling to them, magnifying reflections of the dawn light. Then, from the shadows, a massive creature steps into view, at least massive from the perspective of the tiny humans. To us, it might resemble a small, gentle forest animal, but to the miniature civilization, it is a towering presence with footsteps that send soft tremors through the ground. The camera shifts to a low-angle shot just inches above the soil, showing tiny humans watching quietly from behind leaves. They are cautious but not afraid. Their gestures suggest understanding, perhaps even familiarity. This is simply part of their world, one they have adapted to with impressive skill. As the creature grazes, the tiny villagers move along its path, careful to stay clear yet continuing their work. One group carries materials across a slim bridge carved into a root. Another uses a handheld crystal that emits a gentle glow, scanning the environment for changes. Their confidence reveals a long history of coexistence, shaped by observation rather than confrontation. This peaceful balance highlights something profound about their society. They do not dominate their environment, they harmonize with it. To them, the planet is a place of shared space and shared responsibility. Large creatures shape the terrain. Tiny humans adapt in ways that suit their scale. Both exist on different layers of the same ecosystem, moving in parallel without disturbing each other's purpose. In this moment, the world feels unified, a reminder that intelligence does not always conquer nature. Sometimes it learns to live beside it. As the day fades into a soft violet dusk, the world begins to quiet. The forest settles, the larger creatures retreat into the shadows, and the miniature village lights once again shimmer beneath the roots. This time, however, the camera focuses on a single tiny individual who steps away from the village, climbing a small stone that rises only a few centimeters above the ground, yet for someone their size, it feels like a vantage point overlooking an entire world. The camera slowly pulls back, giving space to this quiet moment. The tiny figure stands at the peak, their silhouette outlined by the fading glow of the horizon. Above them, the sky stretches wider and deeper than ever, scattered with stars that the miniature probes are now exploring somewhere far beyond the atmosphere. The tiny human raises their gaze curious, hopeful, unafraid. The scene carries a sense of wonder that reaches beyond words. Their rocket is now a distant point of light, barely visible from the surface, but its presence marks an undeniable truth. Even the smallest beings can reach beyond their world if they dare to imagine something greater. The wind carries a soft, gentle hum. Leaves rustle lightly. The last light of the evening reflects in the tiny individual's eyes, blending their world with the vastness above. There is no dramatic sound, no rushing motion, only a delicate balance between the small and the infinite. And in that stillness, the question forms naturally, almost silently. If life this small can dream of the stars, then what does it say about our own place in the universe? The scene closes on this reflection, allowing viewers to feel both humbled and inspired, reminded that scale is only a measure of size, not possibility. As our journey across this extraordinary miniature world comes to an end, one truth becomes beautifully clear. The universe might be filled with possibilities far beyond what we expect. A civilization does not need towering structures or immense cities to hold meaning. Sometimes, the most remarkable ideas grow quietly, in the smallest corners of creation, under roots, beneath leaves, or in the imagination of those willing to look closer. We watched how tiny humans carved out a life perfectly matched to their scale. We saw their craftsmanship, their cooperation, and their courage as they reached toward the sky with a rocket no larger than a handheld object, yet filled with hope just as vast as ours. Their story is a reminder that curiosity is universal. Whether big or small, every being that looks to the stars shares the same instinct, the desire to understand, explore, and connect. And maybe that is the heart of this mystery. Not whether tiny humans exist somewhere out there, but what their story reflects back at us. That greatness is not defined by size, but by the spirit that moves us forward. Thank you for joining me on this journey through imagination and wonder. If you enjoyed exploring this question, there are many more mysteries waiting just beyond the horizon. I will see you in the next story. Until then, stay curious, stay open, and keep looking up. Milky Way sparkles.